Right, so here I am changing the glow plugs on my Nissan Qashqai 1.5 DCI. So, camera didn't start right at the beginning, but we're halfway through, so we've disassembled it. But you'll see the assembly of all the parts at the end, including the awkward turbo pipe clip right at the back. It's a pain. Don't drop it, you'll be in a world of pain. So yeah, we're just going through these glow plugs at the moment. The reason I'm doing this is one of the codes on the diagnostics was coming up as the glow plug circuit A and B, I think, something like that. And obviously these things not so much used for cold starting, but emissions they are. So you want to keep the soot low as possible starting your engine because of the DPF. So yeah, and this is it, just changing these plugs one by one. They weren't too difficult to do because this car isn't completely old and it's not had water ingress or anything like that, like the Renault vans where the glow plugs kind of, and also the injectors actually weld in. So it's quite a nice little engine to work on. So yeah, a little bit of pressure needed. It's a bit unnerving doing this because you can have these snap off, and if you do snap the glow plug you're in a big world of pain and it's gonna cost a fortune to fix. But we just carried on getting these glow plugs out and all pretty much going okay. It's a nice video of my head, which due to where I put the camera there'd be a load of that. These are the old plugs coming out. They pretty much are the wrong ones. They're 11 volt ones, and the ones that should be fitted are 4 volt. 4 volt ones are like finger slim ones, and the ones that were in it were quite big and chunky, so probably why it's coming up with the error code, I don't know. But I did test, actually no, I did test the old plugs, and some of them, the resistance was like, it was gone. So yeah, I'm just checking the new ones as they go in, just making sure the resistance is okay. I think it was measuring around 5, I think, something like that, which is okay. On the broken ones, a lot of them are coming up as 170 something, which obviously is not fine. So yeah, it's a bit of a, I'll just go through while you're watching this bit of me putting the plugs in. Ideally you should be using an air line as well, blowing out the space around the plug before you take the old one out and put the new one in. But yeah, it's not too bad taking the engine cover off. That silver metal pipe, the turbo pipe, is actually, it's not turbo. Is it a turbo? I'm not sure. Intercooler, that's it, that's what I'm thinking of. Intercooler pipe, I think it is. Anyway, so the clip at the back, my. You can, my tips for that, removing that, are take all your watches off, put some gloves on, latex gloves, and also bear in mind that the clip can be rotated around, and also when you're going to put it back on, what you can do is push it on the thinner part of the pipe and then push over each side of the clip one by one to put it in its final clipping position. You'll understand if you do this what I mean by that. But yeah, that clip is a bit of a beast. But yeah, so just cracking on really. Another tip really for taking the old plugs out is use the glow plug plastic push on. Once you've obviously you take that off to undo the glow plug, but once the glow plug's out, it can be a bit of a pain unless you've got a socket that's got the rubber insert in to pull out the top of, like the old spark plug ones. It can be a bit fiddly getting the plugs out. So yeah, what I was doing was undoing with the socket by hand, well by the wrench and then by hand, and then just using the plug. If I couldn't get the glow plug out, just pushing the plug back on the glow plug, the loose one, and pulling it out. It's quite a good little tip that for getting those plugs out. Ideally what you want to do, and what I was doing was when the old ones are out, the new ones, you don't want to cross thread these, otherwise it's another big world of pain. So I was not using the wrench to tighten them up initially. I was just using the bar and the socket to get a feel, and then just slowly rotate it round to get the thread going, and then obviously use the wrench and then tighten up. But yeah, so not a huge job to do, a little bit fiddly in places, and if you don't want to do it, I wouldn't do it yourself. A lot of things can go wrong. I mean, if you took it to a garage and they broke these things, I think they would just charge you to probably whip the head off or use, I don't know, there are tools you can use. I've never used them, never snapped one off. The other tip is I was using, was it Plus Gas? I spoke to like the round the glow plug holes, sprayed Plus Gas in a few times and left that to do its work. But basically you want to be changing these with the engine when it's all hot, not red hot, and you're going to burn yourself, but don't do it when it's cold. I think it's because when it's hot, the different metal, I think it's an aluminium head, and then you've got the steel glow plug, and those two different metals kind of expand and contract at different rates depending on the heat. So by doing it with a hot engine, there's not going to be so much, what do you call it? There's going to be less friction, something like that. So it should, in theory, be easier to take out. These were okay. I needed to just check on the one on the left. I didn't really like how that went in and when it came out. I don't think it's been cross-threaded, but it just seemed a lot more resistance in undoing it, and obviously when putting it back. So yeah, maybe these plugs aren't the original plugs. I don't know. Well, actually, they're not the original plugs because they're the wrong ones. The right ones would have been the 4-volt ones. I don't know. So yeah, progressing nicely with all of this. Trying not to drop anything or leave anything in place. Qashqai's a bit odd. You can't, when you're working on it, your tools, there's nowhere to sort of put stuff without it being slightly hidden. So you've got, at the end of it all, make sure you've picked up screwdrivers and stuff like that. I was using the kind of windscreen plastic covering to put most of my stuff on near the windscreen wipers. So yeah, this is me trying to work out how to put that box back on. There's a seal, a rubber seal that needs to be pushed on properly. I think I'll show you that in a minute, maybe not. And then just push that into place, making sure it's not getting caught anywhere. The intercooler, the metal pipe that I've got my hand on, that just doesn't come free that easily. I think you need to take the pipe that goes across over the top of it, that out as well, if you did want to get that out, but you can work around it. You don't need to take that pipe, the black pipe out, goes across. So yeah, there's probably about, to start this job, excluding pipes, Jubilee clips, there's probably about 5 or 6 bolts. There's the infamous clip at the back of the intercooler pipe, turbo pipe, I don't know. But yeah, don't drop it. I reckon Nissan must sell loads of those. It's not the end of the world if you drop it. You could probably find it. It'd be in the engine tray, which you're gonna have to undo. Yeah, so reaching in, you can feel, it's obvious where it goes. There's kind of like a ridge, and then once it's in place, you can pull the pipe up. If you do yank the pipe really hard, it will come loose anyway with that clip in place, or mine did. But yeah, there should be a bit of resistance. It does take a little bit of time getting that clip right, but yeah, once it's done, it's done. Not sure what the alternative would be to that if you could, if you can get your hands down the back and arms. I'm not sure if you can work on it from underneath, but you're definitely going to need your hands and arms down there. Right, so the commentary for this video, I think I'm gonna finish up now, but just watch all the bits that I put back together and how I do that as a little helper. This isn't really a how-to video. I wouldn't really do precise details on it because, you know, if you snap your plugs, you wreck your engine, really. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope it's of some use to some people, and I'll catch you on another one. Okay, see ya. Bye.